Hi everyone, welcome back to the virtual Happy Mum, Happy Baby meetup. My name is Adrienne and today this session is all about movement and exercise and how we can use movement to strengthen our bodies and strengthen our minds. So I use the word movement intentionally instead of the word exercise because often when I use the word exercise, people already have lots of ideas in their mind attached to that word. So they might think about, gym goers or runners or, flashbacks to PE and doing cross country, and so people have a love or a hate relationship with exercise. But I use the word movement because essentially that's what it's all about. How we move our bodies, how much we move our bodies, and how moving our bodies in different ways really does impact everything from how we feel, our mood, our hormones, our energy levels, all of it. So I'm going to talk through a few different ways in which I think it's really important to think about movement and how we can incorporate movement into our lives, into our daily routines. And then I'm also going to give you some exercises, some examples, things that you could try, things that you could use to strengthen different areas and just to kind of boost your mood and get your body moving. So first thing I'd like to say is that if you are, often we have a preference of how we feel. If you think about how your body feels, if you're feeling more energetic, then you want to do something more high energy, but equally it works in reverse. So sometimes when you're not feeling energetic and you're feeling a little bit kind of flat and low in energy and low in mood, sometimes actually getting the body moving, getting the oxygen in, getting the pulse raised, getting the serotonin, endorphins, you do start to lift your body out of that feeling and it can kind of help to shift your state. But there's also a time for, slower movement and movement that's less impactful on the body. And so it's really important to kind of try out all different types of movement, try out different ways of exercising and figure out how to really listen to the body and think about what your body wants and what your body needs. So for me, I love running, I love to be outside, and I also love body weight training. So anything mat-based like Pilates, conditioning, things like that. I don't really tend to do as much strength or resistance weight training, but that I know for so many women is their absolute favourite way to move. So it really is a very individual thing. So if, like me, you like to be outside, then the reason that running or even walking, it can be such a great daily practice and daily movement is because of the link between the body and the brain that I was describing before. So when you are in forward motion, when your body is moving forwards, the message that you're sending to yourself is that you are progressing and that you're moving away from something and towards something else. So that's something that I always think about when I'm lacing up to go out for a run in the morning, especially now that the weather's changing and it's darker in the morning and cold in the morning. I like to start my day with that feeling, a feeling of energy, but also a feeling of progression, because there's so much uncertainty right now in the world that if nothing else, I know that I'm completing something. So I'm moving towards something physically and mentally. If it's not running for you, if you are someone who, as I said, wants to lift weights, you want to add resistance training, you want to build strength, then again, it's not just thinking about, okay, I'm strengthening the muscles in my body, but actually when we add resistance training to our routines, what I've seen working with so many different clients is that strength training can be an incredible way to build your confidence. When you start to lift things, lift heavy things, lift weights, you really start to grow in confidence and prove to yourself that you can do things that you didn't think you can do. You can see a real way to measure progress. This weight was where I started, and then 4 weeks later, 8 weeks later, 12 weeks later, you're able to lift much heavier, or you're able to do the same exercise a lot more, so you can do a lot more reps. So that is a great way of, kind of having this measurable something you can track and see, look how much I've progressed, look how much stronger I am. And also, again, the link between the brain and body, you're affirming to yourself that I'm getting stronger, I am strong, and I can lift this heavy thing, and I can also lift myself. So strength training, great for building confidence. And then I'd say with the more low impact movements such as Pilates, don't be deceived in thinking that that's just kind of easy, laying on a mat, it's not going to do anything for you. Trust me, if you're doing Pilates right, if you're doing like intermediate advanced Pilates, it is super, super challenging, but it is low impact on the body. And what I find with Pilates is that it strengthens, it's really, really great for postnatal. I recommend Pilates to everybody who's postnatal. My son is actually 9 years old now, so I don't really fit in that postnatal category anymore, but I still absolutely love Pilates. It's what I feel like keeps my body in balance, strengthened, toned, and also helps with posture. So during the last few months, lockdown, lots of time sitting at my laptop writing. And actually doing Pilates 3-4 times a week has really, really helped to kind of bulletproof my body against those desk kind of, rolling shoulders and back pain, etc. So Pilates, great one. But any kind of exercise that you're doing that's, I want to say isometric, but all I mean by that is basically an exercise that you do that is static and then you hold the position. So if you're holding like a plank position or a warrior position, when you hold that static position, you sit in this position that is uncomfortable, but you learn to endure. And so again, coming back to that feeling and the feeling that you want to evoke with the movement that you're doing, I always say that to people. I say, think about when you're in a difficult yoga pose and you just have to do 5 breaths. You have to stay in that position, even though it's uncomfortable, but you can endure. And you can't start to think, well, actually I can endure this. I don't need to panic. I don't need to move. I can just be, I can stay here, I can endure this uncomfortable feeling. So again, it's something I like to think about and take into other areas of my life when I think, oh, this is uncomfortable, but I'm like, no, we can do this. I can stay in this uncomfortable, I can endure this. Even if it's like, I don't know, a difficult conversation or whatever it is, I think applying these things from how we strengthen our bodies really, really does help. It translates into how we strengthen our minds in everything from how we interact with other people to what we believe is possible for ourselves. So, lots of talking, enough talking. Now I'd like to get moving and give you some examples of the things that I'm talking about. So I'm going to go through some floor-based, mat-based stuff first. So if you have some space, then follow along, give some of these a go, and maybe you can add them into your movement routine, into your exercise routine, or maybe just try some of them out, like be open-minded, give them a go, and just do your best. So I'll start on the mat. I'm going to start with some core exercises and some lower body exercises to strengthen the front and the back of the body. So these exercises are going to help to improve your posture and just kind of tone and sculpt, and you'll probably feel little aches and twinges in muscles that you didn't even know that you had. So let's get going. Okay, so just lay your back, and as I said, if you have a mat, you've got a little bit of space, that's all you need. Feet on the floor, little space between your knees, and then from here, if you've got a big arch underneath your back, then try to find a neutral position with your spine. So you don't have to press the spine to the floor, but there shouldn't be too much of an arch there either, just a neutral position in the middle. Okay, from here, simple exercise is a glute bridge. So you lift the hips up, squeeze the glutes, which just means squeeze your butt cheeks together, and then slowly roll down. So we'll start off with a few of those. So lift the hips nice and high, roll down. When you're doing this exercise, just think about the entire back body. So you're thinking about your back, your bum, back of the legs, squeeze it all, lift up. Okay, another one to think about here, if you've got your hips raised, try to keep them parallel so you could balance a gin and tonic on your hips and it's not going to fall off. And then from here, we're going to do some marches. So lifting one foot up and then the other one. This is a lot more challenging than it looks. So if you just lifted one foot off and went, whoa, then yes, it means you're doing it right. Engage your core muscles, which just means pull your tummy button in towards your spine, keep the hips lifted, and keep walking the legs. Don't hold your breath, try and relax your neck and jaw muscles. And let's go for 4 more of those. Hips a little higher. 2, 1. Lower everything down. So that's a really great one for the back of the body, as I said, back of the legs, bum, and lower back muscles too. There shouldn't be any pain in your lower back though. So that's starting to switch everything on at the back. Now we're going to switch everything on at the front. So now lift the legs up into a tabletop position like this. And if your feet are high, try and bring your heels down in line with your knees, and then take your knees 1 inch further away so they're over your hip bones. From here, you're going to lift up, lift the chin and chest off the floor, and then we're just going to beat the arms down. If there's any tension in your neck and jaw, then you can hold Support the head with your hands, but even just holding that position, hopefully you're starting to feel the tummy muscles switching on, and just hold that position. It's a good one to do first thing in the morning, so when you wake up, just roll out a mat. Doesn't matter if the kids are running around, climbing on top of you, climbing around you, get them to copy you. I do that sometimes with my son, but also with friends' kids that are younger. I say, oh, come on, copy me, see if you can do it too. Try and keep them entertained so you get a few minutes to move in the morning. So from here, maybe relax the head down, give your neck a little break, and then try some single leg extensions. So you take one leg away, and the other leg. Take one away. And with this stuff, again, it looks easy, but if you're doing it right, the slower the better. The slower you move, the harder it is. And also, the lower you take the leg, the harder it is for the core. So if you're a beginner, if you're new to this kind of movement, then maybe keep the legs a little higher, like that. Taking the leg all the way out is a much more advanced move. It's going to challenge the core muscles a lot more. Alright, so that's a nice simple one to try and remember. Knees parallel, lifting up like this, and single leg extensions. Okay, flip everything over into a high plank position. So that is kind of like a press-up position. Your hands are underneath your shoulders, extend the legs away, and you want to have a long line from your head all the way down to your heel. I hope you can see. You don't want to have your hips sticking up like that, and you don't want them down like that either. So a long line that's straight from the head to the heel. So holding that position is challenging. Again, if you're new to these moves, then just even holding this position, hopefully you're going to feel your core muscles activated. Option is to bring the toes a little closer and bend the knees. That is still going to work and still going to challenge the same muscles. If you're here, try bending the knees and then extend away. Bend, extend. Good, try a few of those. Great, and you can build up to this as well. So as I said, if that's not an option today, then start off here, start to work over time to add how long you can hold that. So typically I'd say like do that for 40 seconds, then take a rest, have a little breather, roll your shoulders, and then do it again for 40 seconds. But that is a long time. 40 seconds of work, muscle under tension is a long time. So yeah, take breaks and build up to it. Another option, if that's painful in your wrist at all, another option is to do that on your elbows. So it's exactly the same move, but you're just here. Bend, extend. Long and strong. All right, okay. Okay, upper body exercise. So we all know press-ups, push-ups, whatever you want to call them. They are great upper body exercise, super simple, but I think often people think that they have to, yeah, I don't know, it's a really extreme, really difficult exercise, but they forget why we need to do it. So strengthening the upper body is really going to help us when we are lifting kids, lifting heavy things. It helps to strengthen and improve your posture so that you can stand tall. So a few exercises that I would like you to try before you go into your push-ups is to just bring the arms up overhead, pull the elbows down into the waist so you're engaging your lat muscles, so the muscles down your side, pull the elbows in and up, in and up. So you could do this for 30 or 40 seconds and press the shoulders down and away from the ears. Great, so when you're doing that, we're warming up the upper body, but also reminding yourself of where you want your shoulders to be. So you lengthen the neck, press the shoulders down. I know that when I'm stressed or tense or even just tired, my posture is, I can feel it in my posture because my shoulders get closer to my ears and I start to curve up. Like I think about it if you think about when you're driving in traffic, if you're stressed, your ears just get closer and closer to your shoulders. So press them down and away to, I guess, remind the muscles of the placement that we want. And then we're going to do a few press-ups, or push-ups, whatever you want to call them. So what I want you to think about with this, it's kind of like a little mini tutorial, is that you can be on your knees, you don't have to be up on your toes, you're still working with right muscles. You can be on your knees, but Have your hands nice and wide for a start, and then I want you to think about not having your bum sticking up in the air, because doing that ain't it. You want to have a long line, again, from the head to the heel, straight line all the way down, arms nice and wide, lower your chest to the floor, and then push the floor away. Lower, push the floor away. Down. And if you can't do that, and at the moment you don't have the strength to lift your body all the way up, just work on doing the down part. So you lower the body down, release the hands, come back up any way that you like, and then start again. Slowly, lower the body down. So it's a great way to start building upper body strength. Another great thing to do is to just grab anything that you have. I don't actually have anything right here, but 2 things that are, you know, like 2 bottles of water, for example, and literally just doing lat raises, which is arms up to the side, and then hold and beat the arms. You can do it for 15 seconds of each, 15 seconds of those, 15 seconds of those. That's a great way to start building up upper body strength too, if you want to then progress on to your push-up. Okay, 2 more. Lower body. So, great lower body exercise. We did do the glute bridges, but great lower body exercise that you can pretty much do anytime, anywhere, is squats and heel raises. So, no excuses with this one. You can do it anytime, anywhere. You can grab kids. You can do this when you're cleaning your teeth. You can do this anytime and get the kids involved. Hopefully you can still see me, but it's just a basic squat. So you go down. Then when you go up, heel raises. So you lift the toes up into high heels. I don't remember what they are, I did used to wear them. Lift up, squeeze the calf muscles, squeeze the back of the body, but also engage through the quads, through the front of the leg. So, hips down, heels up, hips down, heels up. That exercise, great one for strengthening, toning, sculpting the lower body. Hips down, heels up. Now you can go for 60 seconds, you can go for 40 seconds, whatever it is, but you should start to feel the burn in your legs. And then when you get to the top, squeeze the bum cheeks together as you lift the heels up. And if you want to take that into a pulse raiser, why not? Which just means getting a bit more cardio, so you're going to start to break a sweat with it. You just add a little jump at the top. So you squat down, and then when you go up, instead of going up to tiptoes, you add a jump. Definitely going to feel that one in the lower body straight away. So when you squat down, keep the chest open, let the hips drop nice and low. You don't want your back to, you don't want to kind of duck down like that. Chest stays up and lifted. And when you jump, you want to have that explosive power, so you leave the floor strong. And honestly, this stuff, I mean, I'm out of breath straight away, that was 60 seconds. But it's all about consistency, and it's all about doing something. So doing something is better than doing nothing. So you don't have to think about starting with a regime that is 1 hour every single day and you never miss it. Start from wherever you need to. I'm a big fan of micro steps. Do whatever you need to do to get in. And I'm also a big fan of the idea that something is better than nothing. So even if I've got 15 minutes, if I've got an hour, great. If I've got 10 minutes, whatever it is, I really think it's important that we start to reclaim this time, take some time back. That's why, because I'm an early bird, so I always encourage people to get up early. And sometimes I think they'll ask me, Adrienne, why do you get up so early? Or how do you do it? I could never get up that early because I get up for an hour before my son. But the reality is, I want to encourage people, it's not about getting up to do more. It's actually about saying, you're going to give your time, your energy, your attention, your love, all day. You're giving it to people, kids, might be emails, work, spouse, friends, parents. You're giving your time. And actually, I really think it's important that we start to reclaim some of that time for ourselves, empower yourself. And it's not about, oh, it's selfish or indulgent to think, oh, I'm going to do 30 minutes of Pilates. No, you cannot give what you don't have. So I think any time that is spent working on yourself, strengthening your body, strengthening your mind, that time is never ever wasted. So start today, and I hope that some of these exercises were helpful. I'd love to do a longer session. I'd love to do a Q&A and be able to answer really specific questions. But if you do have questions for me, then please do reach out. I really hope you've enjoyed this virtual meetup event. What a fantastic thing to be doing, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. So thanks for having me. See ya.
you for watching. There are loads more exclusive videos from Happy Mum, Happy Baby, the virtual meetup for you to enjoy. Just go to happymumhappybaby.com. And a special thank you to Pura, one of our wonderful sponsors, for helping us bring the magic to life. Thanks guys. See you later.